Now that we talked about the basic principles, I'm going to delete the glyphs and show you how I would go around building them a bit more precise, give you some tips along the way, and show you some shortcut keys. The first thing that I recommend is to always have a notebook by your side. This is going to make your work much easier. Even if you do not sketch your letters, writing down the proportions and the values they work with will help you a lot. This way you don't have to go back to the glyphs and measure them when you want to stay consistent. I'm going to create an ellipse using the X height grid. Hit L for the ellipse tool and use the guides to create an ellipse. Make sure you hold down the shift key to keep the width and the height the same size. Press V for the selection tool and center the ellipse horizontally. Add overshoot and undershoot, and as a quick note, always try to work with integer values. Some software won't allow decimal values, and as well, decimal values are harder to process. Knowing that I normally work with a lot of symmetry, I will have most of the values even, because if it's an odd value and I have to split it into sections, I will end up with decimals. So after you added the overshoot and undershoot, change the height to an integer and even value. If you noticed in the previous videos, Illustrator doesn't offer too much precision when it comes to handles, so I will show you my way around this. Copy the height of the ellipse, grab the line segment tool, the shortcut for it is backslash, click on the canvas, paste the value that you copied, and for the angle, type in 90. Then click OK. I'm gonna add a stroke just so I can see the line. Go to height and type in 15%. This line is going to be my guide for the handles. Align it with the top of the glyph. Then make a few copies depending on what other handles you want to adjust. By holding down the Alt key while click and dragging an object with your mouse, you make a copy, and by holding down the Shift key, you move the object on a straight path. I will align this one with the bottom of the glyph, then make a few copies for the right side as well. To move around the artboards, hold down the spacebar and click and drag with your mouse. To zoom in or out, hold down the Alt key and scroll up or down using the scroll wheel. Grab the direct selection tool by using the shortcut A, click on the anchor points and simply drag the handles until you intersect with the lines that we use as guides. For better curves, always keep your handles straight on a horizontal or vertical axis. Now all the sides are nice and even. This might take a bit longer, but for me is better than eyeballing. Grab the selection tool and delete the lines. Copy the ellipse and paste it in front. For the vertical strokes, I want them to be 134 points in width, so subtract the 134 twice from the width. Then for the horizontal strokes, half of the value. So instead of subtracting half of 134 twice, I will just subtract 134 since I don't need to do the math. I'm going to keep the stress and weight distribution vertical. Select both ellipses, press Shift M for the shape builder tool, remove the shape in the middle by holding the Alt key and left clicking. Place the glyph on the 15 artboard. Now we have the lowercase letter O. Of course we can make the glyph from a multitude of shapes, but for the next glyph, these are the shapes that I'm going to use for bolts and counters.